Hello guys, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing a video talking about Hytale's latest blog again. This one is designing monsters for Hytale, and this one's going to be really interesting. I actually haven't read it, but I've looked at the pictures, and there's one short little animation clip, but interesting. I'm excited to see what they have to say here. So first off, it wouldn't be an adventure without monsters to encounter. Today we'll be going into a little bit more detail about some dangerous foes that you'll explore in Orbis in adventure mode. Once again, arachnophobes beware. There's a spider at the end of this post. Stop scrolling when you see the twerk. I'm not gonna stop scrolling. This is a skeletal archer in Zone 1. Skeletons are a staple of fantasy adventure games. In adventure mode, you'll encounter them as you delve into dungeons and pick through ruins above ground. They're common foes, but like twerks, they appear in several variants, including archers, mages, and warriors. We knew that we wanted them to offer different types of gameplay, using different tools, weapons, ranges, and so on, says artist Thomas Zale Frick. Skeletons are the perfect type of enemy for that. They can wear any type of gear. They're a bit basic brick that can become anything we want because they're based on a human rig. It's very easy to make it modular. Sorry about that. This piece of concept art shows a number of skeleton variants, so we can see the Frozen Warrior. That one's probably my favorite, actually. The Wizard. I feel like if the Wizard had I don't know, the color scheme of the Wizard just doesn't scream Wizard to me. I mean, it looks great. But, I don't know. I love the Frozen Warrior the best. I think Frozen Warrior's my top pick. Then Wizard, because I love the Wizard, don't get me wrong. Then the Archer, then the Warrior, and then the Soldier. I don't know. Anyway, skeletons are standard enemy type, but their appearance, threat level, and changes as you Skeletons are standard enemy type, but their appearance and threat level change as you progress throughout adventure mode. Undead encountered later in later zones are tougher, wielding weapons and armor that reflect their environment and the increased danger that they pose. A skeleton warrior in Zone 2. So you can kind of see, even from this concept art, that like this version of the skeletal warrior and this version of a skeletal warrior are different. Like, this one definitely looks scarier, and this one definitely doesn't look as scary. And this one looks like it would wreck you. So, you can definitely kind of tell which one is meant to be harder. Interesting. It's also interesting that zones have, like, their own difficulty, and that, like, Zone 1 is going to be very, very easy, but Zone, like, 4 is going to be much harder. I don't know, I kind of like that. I started investigating how we could do different types of skeletons using Hytale Model Maker to speed up the process. It's very easy to change skins and armor. For more information on how Hytale Model Maker modular character building system works, click here. I'll have a link to the Hytale page in the description, so if you want to go check out this blog post or any of the other blog posts, you can do that by going and clicking hit this button and then looking on the list of blogs. Crawlers lurk in the darkness, waiting to leap out at unsuspecting adventurers. These things have always been one of the more interesting looking creatures to me, because I've never really seen something that looks like that in a game. At least not as its own creature. Like, I've seen torso like legless zombies, but anyway. Nothing like that. The creatures of the void make up the armies of Varen. He's the chief antagonist. Oh, well, that's the first time we've had that officially revealed, so everyone who thought Varen would be the main antagonist, there you go. You can see a little more of him in the key art showcase we posted earlier this year. These demonic monsters come in many forms, but they all pose a lethal threat. Their design tells a story, offering clues to the origin and indicating that they each represent part of a greater threat. The challenge was to give them similarity in terms of shapes and colors, Thomas says, to hint to the player that they're the same family of creatures, the same faction. I mean, obviously they're different creatures, but they're the same kind. You get the deal. This is the only clip I saw. I really like how this thing looks just kind of ambiently. And I really hope that those eyes shoot beams out like Observer. Void creatures have a number of common features. Pale flesh with purple accents, glowing green eyes, and curving horns. These curving horns are used in various places to symbolize Varen. Thomas says. I don't know why I stopped there. Thomas says. The creatures are also related in terms of shape, even if they are different. Look out for the diamond shape, as that's another key indicator of the presence of Varen and his minions. Void Spawn strides out into a sandstorm. The Void Eye summons allies to aid when threatened. They summon allies! That's horrifying. The most dangerous monsters have an appropriately threatening appearance. Particularly the Void Spawn, they're some of Varen's most dangerous soldiers. Even so, it's important that all of Hytale's creatures cohere as part of the game's overall art style. Whether you're facing down a Void Spawn or befriending a Quebec, it should be clear that they're both part of the same universe. This is achieved by ensuring that all creatures' designs are based on common elements. If you're planning to design your own Hytale creatures one day, then it may be worth keeping these in mind. Texturing plays a big role, as does the color palette you use. How you draw shadows, where you place lights, and what hues you're using, Thomas explains. HMM helps a lot because it's all based on cubes and planes. This helps us make things more consistent, but not enough by itself. You have to also consider the scale of the characters. All of the heads of our normal size characters will be about the same. The same is true for the hands and arms, the thickness of the finger or a claw, and the way they scale. It's important to use those characteristics it's important to use blocks of similar thickness where it makes sense to do so, and a consistent pixel density across all textures. This way, everything blends together and seems to belong to the same universe. Trork Warrior guards his campfire. Trorks are example of a middle ground. Trorks are example of the tonal middle ground. There's a sense of fun in their design that wouldn't be appropriate for an undead or void creature, but they're physically imposing and pose a threat. Fantasy is often quite similar, and I want one way to make it this ours is to have fun with it, Thomas says. The name Trork actually started as a joke. I was experimenting with a basic archetype, the brute creature, a very muscular monster. I didn't want an orc or a troll, so I decided to create a hybrid. Everyone ended up calling it a Trork, and we ended up integrating that. As all that having been said, some players aren't going to get their biggest scare when they wander into a Trork camp, or even when they run into Varen's forces. Instead, they're going to regret taking a wrong turn underground and ending up exactly in the kind of wrong cave. Sorry about all the spiders. They get everywhere. So, I'm going to cap this one off with my thoughts. I've only done this a couple of times in blog posts, but number one, it's very interesting to see that the different abilities we know these things will have. Void Eyes summon allies. I cannot wait to see that in game. It's also interesting to know if I can, find it. that it is officially confirmed that Varen is Hytale's chief antagonist. Now, we had a very good idea about that was the case. I have kind of always thought that would be the case. He just looks like the kind of creature that would be the main antagonist. But it's good to have some confirmation. I can't wait to see his motives and why he's doing what he's doing, or what he's doing that's even so bad in the first place. But I am very interested to see how this game is going to play out. But that's all for me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe if you did enjoy it. And be sure to hit that bell to get notified of new videos every single week. And I will talk to you guys next time.